most of the business owners won't have to do anything. On each and every commercial signage, they should have like a generic term or a description if they have an English name or other language than French name. With the new regulation applying the new law, French should occupy at least 2/3 of the commercial signage outside the store. Let's say you have a store, costless shoes or costless T-shirt.
Costless.
You should right now have a generic term like vêtements. So maybe you step back, and when you look at your business overall, globally, French should be markedly predominant.
That's Jean-François Roberge, the language minister. I don't get some of what he's talking about there, about this idea of globally or whatever else. But what I do get is part of the new regulations that will come into effect next year will affect a lot of Quebec's small businesses. It's going to cost them money to adapt or to adopt these new regulations and change their signs. And in some cases, you wonder why this is happening at all. I mean, go back to Bill 101 with French predominance already there. What happens to those owners? And what are small businesses saying now, based on the fact that they will have to spend money? By the way, even the minister acknowledges that for this to go into effect, Jean-François Roberge said this will cost, in his estimation, between $7 and $15 million to get done. And that number is small, much smaller than businesses are saying it will. To that end, let's try to find out a little bit more here. François Vincent is Vice President in Quebec for the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. And Monsieur Vincent, representing roughly, 20,000 businesses here?
Yeah, in Quebec, yes.
So what's your concern? Because I'm sure that now this story is coming out. It's going to be happening. What are you hearing from some of your members?
Yeah, but it's not the news. We knew about it. It was a major pillar when they tabled the bill 96. After that, we saw the first proposal of the regulation. But still, it's going to represent cost for businesses who have other things than French in their signage. And it's going to put pressure on them, and for sure, it's going to be harder for small firms to apply these changes. And we are just talking now about the signage, but there's another rule that will be implemented on June 1st, 2025, and it's the process of franchisation. And all businesses who have 25 to 49 employees will have to do red tape, basically, to hear that they are okay by the Office québécois de la langue française.
So to explain to people, we talked about this earlier on, it was 50 employees or more. This changes in June of next year to 25 to 49 employees, so even more small businesses will be affected. From what I read today, what I'm trying to understand is that there is still a lot here that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. In other words, the government has not really laid out strict rules here as to how this is going to work or how it's going to be implemented. Is that part of the concern?
There's a franchisation process that is currently going on the Office québécois de la langue française for businesses with more than 50 employees. So they do have to do paperwork. It's 3 pages of a document that you download on your computer to get the registration with the OQLF. And after that, you have a 16 pages document to fill up. And after that, the OQLF is saying, okay, you have to do this or that, or you have to do nothing. So that is the franchisation process. The way they are reducing the threshold for businesses who are obligated to do paperwork. But I have something important to say here. Every business in Quebec has to follow the Bill 101. This is only paperwork to receive certification that they are currently okay under the different rules of the Bill 101. And one thing that is very interesting and not for business owners is that the annual report of OQLF is saying that 66% of businesses who are doing that process have nothing to do at all after. So they're going to do paperwork basically to receive an acknowledgement from the public office. That is a definition of what is red tape.
Okay, so I mean, red tape. You expect that anytime there's any kind of government regulation. I had a call from someone when I asked this question earlier today, who said he runs a business and his clients are not even here. They're necessarily around the rest of Canada or in the U.S. And because of the specialized nature of his business, all his clients speak English, yet he had an OQLF inspector come to his office who wanted to put something he said into his computer. And he said no. And he said, I don't do anything. And by the way, he also mentioned 3/4 of his employees were already French, but they do business all day, every day in English. What happens to companies like that?
But there's some sort of flexibility, but the office will look if the employee in French can receive communication from the employers in French. But there's an understanding of it. If your market is elsewhere, even if you do customer relationship, we have a lot of tourism in Montreal. It's normal that you have to use the English language. So basically, what will happen on new regulation or new requirement on June 2025 is if a business has something in front of their store that is not French, they might have to change and print to have the 2/3 in French in front of their business. And if they have more than 25 employees, and that is taken into consideration part-time employees, they should look at what they have to do. And I can tell you that CFIB, we will be on the field. We have already did 2 webinars. We have a web page that is very precise with a countdown on it, and we will do door-to-door to inform business owner about what is coming up. And to help them to understand and get the support they need to not receive a fine, because they're going to be massive the fines if they are not conform about that.
So I have a question. Maybe you can answer this as well. In the case of something like a Canadian Tire store, because the ruling here suggests as well the descriptive, if you will, also will have to be in French and predominating. What the hell is it going to say above Canadian Tire?
When you see about the image of what they should do, they will have to put French on all their windows in front of the Canadian Tire, or put a gigantic magasin, les magasins Canadian Tire. So we will see them far away because the signage wouldn't be huge in French. So it's going to cost a lot for Canadian Tire for sure.
What about other businesses? I mentioned off the top before we started that even the minister says he knows this will cost $7 to $15 million. It's going to cost much more than that, from what I read for some. Is it not?
Probably. I didn't saw their evaluation. I saw it in the paper. We did an evaluation only on the time that businesses will have to do the franchisation processes between 25 to 49 employees. Mm-hmm. And our evaluation is between 9 to 20 million
just for that.
On the economy, just for the franchisation. Wow. And we did not evaluate what it will cost for do the paperwork, to do the conception, to do the printing, to pay for businesses to do it on the front of their business. So for sure, it's going to cost a lot for business owners in Quebec, and they will not sell more with that. So it's another differentiation that we have, and we still have the highest payroll taxes in Canada.
Which leads me to my final question. We're out of time. Does any of this make sense to you to do this right now at such a time? We're running the biggest deficit in provincial history. Businesses are struggling, small businesses struggling to survive, and now the government wants to do this.
But they had their commitment to do that. I don't see how they could have done a 180 degree on that, politically speaking. Still, it's going to be put in the prices for consumer in Quebec, and it's going to be harder for small businesses here in Quebec. But you can be sure that CFIB, the biggest association of small businesses, we will be there to support small business owners and to continue to fight to make sure that the process will be easy. So they will have to do it, but maybe it's going to be easier than a 16 pages document that has to be downloaded on the website of the OQLF. So we will continue to fight for small business owners.
Appreciate the time. Thank you so much, Monsieur Vincent.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
François Vincent from the Quebec Federation of Independent Businesses.